Wouldn't it be nice if we could bring God to earth? If we need to be in God's presence to be at home, then let's invite God to come down to earth and live with us. Hey, why don't we go ahead and build him a cozy little house and ask him to come and stay? Let's create a sacred place on earth for God to dwell. Then we can be home. No need to live as strangers and wanderers any longer. Well, humanity basically tried this before, and the plan didn't really succeed. King David had desired to build God a home, but according to God's will, it was David's son Solomon who actually constructed it. King Solomon knew that only the best materials were worthy of use in God's home, thus he had the best timber imported, cedar harvested from the forest of Lebanon. Beautiful designs were carved into the wood, and the holiest places of the temple were overlaid with pure gold. Solomon wisely carried out the work according to the principle, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. When the magnificent temple was completed, God's presence manifested itself as a cloud, and his glory filled the temple. And yet, during his prayer of dedication, Solomon recognized the imperfect nature of the plan. But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. How much less this temple I have built? Solomon was indeed the wisest of men, and he knew that no sacred space on earth could truly function as a home for God. Solomon's temple was not just humanity's foolish attempt at luring God to earth, though. It's more complex than that. God went along with humanity's plan. He did not condemn it, but rather cooperated with it. And as was mentioned, his glory truly did come and dwell in the Israelite temple. But God's presence didn't remain there long. Humanity could not coax God into making this earth his true home. Not even the temple, in all its magnificence, could hide the fact that earth is a sinful place because its inhabitants are a sinful people. The temple, in accordance with God's sovereignty, was eventually destroyed by the Babylonians. Israel's sin led to their exile, not only from the promised land, but from the sacred temple, from that which, in an imperfect sense, housed God's presence. Later, God's people would rebuild the temple, but again, it would be destroyed. This time, at the hands of the Romans. While the idea of God dwelling on earth sounds great, it just doesn't work. It always ends in the bitter disappointment of humanity separated from God. We need God's presence. We need to go home. But we can't be the builders. We, the creation, can't construct ourselves, much less the Creator, a home. We can't entice God to come down from heaven and live on this earth, though later we will talk about the time when he did come down and dwell among us in human flesh. We need him to be the builder. We, the creation, need him, the Creator, to construct us a home. We've ruined this one with our sin, and there is nothing we can do to make it right again. We need him to build us a new paradise, a new Eden, a new garden in the east. We need him to build us a new home where our presence and his presence coexist in perfect harmony. We need him not only to build us this home, but to lead us into it.